I come from a culture of reading astrological charts, reading palms. My grandfather used to read palms. So when my friend Lizzy started reading my tarot cards, this became a practice that we engage in regularly. And tonight, there is a full moon. A full moon, Lizzy told me, in
Cancer.
Which is my sign.
Yeah, it's always, the full moon is always opposite to where the sun sign is at. So because the sun sign is in Capricorn, it's in Cancer. The full moon's in Cancer.
So that's my full moon out there.
Yeah.
And it's so beautiful.
It's perfect for doing a tarot reading.
Well, Lizzy and I go way back. She's like a sister to me. And over the years, engaging in tarot readings has been something that I feel is like a self-assessment. Mm-hmm. Self-assessment isn't one way. I often am sitting at a bar alone eating my dinner. I always leave my phone aside so that I can sift through my thoughts and analyze everything. Yeah. And I feel like this is exactly the same thing in such a fun, engaging, visual way.
It's tarot is wonderful. I consider it, just as you're saying, it's sort of a time of looking in on oneself, and it's almost like a meditation. And I always set up my altar cloth and, you know, my crystals and things like that. But for someone else, their form of meditation might be laying out their sandwich and having a picnic, or, you know, walking on a trail out in wilderness, or even just laying down a mat and doing some yoga. Mm-hmm. So this is a way of just checking in on life. So, and tarot actually it began as it was a medieval game. It was a gambling game called tarot key.
So in playing cards today, we have clubs, hearts, ace, and diamonds.
Yes.
And
so that would be, clubs would be akin to the tarot's wands, mm-hmm. which is the element of fire, mm-hmm. And sort of your life force, how you go through life, your creativity, and actions. And then hearts would be akin to cups in the tarot, which is the element of water, your emotions. And then spades, it would be swords. Swords represent air and your thoughts, your mind. And then the last one would be diamonds. And diamonds is the earth element, ruled over by, sometimes it's called either pentacles or coins. It depends on which deck you're looking at. Okay. And that would be your wealth of being. It doesn't have to be the things that you have, your worldly goods. It's also just your home life, your family, traditions, and also just how you nurture your life. Mm-hmm. So shall we begin?
Yes.
I've already shuffled the deck. I've cleansed it from any previous readings I've done, and I will have you shuffle, and then we'll deal out.
Okay.
You can shuffle in any way you like.
Okay.
I always save the cards that pop out. They're very important.
I feel like I'm done shuffling.
That feels right to you?
Yes.
The cards always, they run smoothly in the hands. That's what we want to have that feel. It's sort of, sometimes they hum to the person or just feel warm, or depends. All right, so let's begin. So we have, oh wow. All right, so there's your core. And then I always draw from the bottom of the deck, which is, this would be considered your foundation. And then oh wow. All right. Voila. So we'll begin. So this is wonderful. You have, so this is to start. So this is the center. This is the core of your being at the moment. Mm-hmm. So this is the 10 of Pentacles. or the 10 of coins. If I didn't know the client, I would say, you know, you have a wonderful life. There's family, good fortune, you have a safe, wonderful home, that kind of thing. But I know you. So this would be the same thing, the same, but this would be, you've made family and friends, you're working really hard on your business, and it's growing in the way that you want it to grow. And the way I had said that this is how you nurture your life, the things that matter to you are what you grow in your life. That's what this shows here. So it's a wonderful wealth of being. So that's the center. That's a pretty great start for having as the core. And then here we have down, this is the foundation. So if this is sort of the core trunk of the tree, this is the roots. This is where you get your nutrients. And this is lovely. This is another great, this is 10 of cups. And this is the joy of life. This is a wonderful, happy, rich, fulfilled content in who you are and what you do. And really enjoying what the world has to offer.
Yes, I do. These people look very gay.
All right, so if this is your root system, then this would be sort of a branch from the past, or I like to call it sort of your something you've been through in life, or so a life lesson you've learned, or just simply a skill set you have in your back pocket. And right now, justice is a stepping stone in life that has to do with making sure everything's balanced out. You know, are we doing it by the book? Are we following the correct truth?
And would you say that this is a reminder to do that? Like, or would you?
It's kind of like, it's sort of like saying the cards understand that you've been through it.
Okay.
You've been through this. It can also say that, are you sure you've double checked everything? But it's more likely that this is a card of, I've been through this.
Because it's in the past.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's set in the past. If it were in the present position, see here. So if it were in the present position, where the magician is number 1 in the major arcana, and it's a very interesting card. It's basically talking about juggling all the elements, which is you have wands again, which is your force, swords, which is your thoughts, cups, your emotion, and pentacle, your wealth of being. So being able to juggle all of those, that's really a very difficult thing to do. And some people say that this is sort of like the showmanship. I would say, more importantly, if you look really carefully, this looks like your bedroom table. See here?
Yeah.
And that's kind of a vital part of your home. When I come to visit you, that's where we eat. That's where we do things. That's where everything happens. And you always clear it so that it's ready to go for the next round. So the magician would, if it came up in someone else's deck or someone else's reading, it'd be a very different conversation. But for you, it's really pertinent to saying, I'm balancing everything. I'm learning things. I'm learning different tools. I'm learning how to do stuff. And so, from that's present day. Looking forward is one of the most wonderful cards. I love seeing this card. This is a card. This is the 3 of Cups.
And this is the future card.
Yes, this is looking forward. This is sort of like path forward. This is the community card. This is a card of harmony. It's the 3, you could say it's the 3 muses, but it's receiving support from outside. You have a community of people that you sit and enjoy life with, and that's really important to who you are. So even though you have your apartment at home, which is your core center, sort of, you could travel out from there and you bring a little bit of that home with you every time you go. So that's what is showing here. This is what you shuffled. This is what your hands gave to me. These 2 cards that popped out of the deck as you're shuffling.
Out. What's so interesting is, like, other people have read my cards, and when cards fall out, they've just taken them and put them back in. But I always found this very interesting about Lizzy, is she said, no, they have fallen out. Let's put them aside and see what they were.
When I shuffle, I often try to cleanse the deck, and if there are, usually the popping out of cards happens then. It didn't with you. When I was shuffling, it didn't happen. So it's always the energy of, for a lack of a better term, the spirits that surround you. So anyone who's passed away, whether it was way back, ancestry, or more present, family. Oh, hello.
Speaking of.
Hello. Speaking of which,
Kitty always
my
wants
love,
to
you're
be
going to have to
involved.
move. Thank you. Any form of family or friends, they watch over you, and this is their perspective. Excuse me. This is we have
Spirits. Certain spirits end up on the floor. Damn.
So back to what we're talking about.
Yes.
So
as you were.
So this would be their perspective on what's going on with you right now. It can also very simply be them saying, hey, this is my personality, I'm just saying hi. But normally it's more of them just saying, do you remember that this is happening right now? Or, this is coming in this is coming up. So these two cards. So the first one to pop out was this one. This is one of my most favorite cards in the major arcana.
I remember you almost had me paint this on the
yeah,
apron,
and I thought maybe
right?
nudity isn't the best thing
and an advertisement for tarot.
But this card, the star represents a creativity, and it's pouring into both your emotion, but also the world, so the world around you. So, but pouring into the water and onto the earth. So nurturing both. It's nurturing your creativity and the and having that, forgiving oneself, balancing out the world around you, and there's always this is wonderful. This is the stars that surround.
Yeah.
This is a community.
These stars?
Yes, this would be considered a community. So this can either be a community on this earth, or a community of the spirits that watch over you. Mm-hmm. So this is always a, don't forget to take care of yourself. Mm-hmm. If you are able to nurture who you are, nurture your creativity, you're growing. This is a fun. This was the second one that popped out. Page of Pentacles. So if this were a person, this would be the personality of someone who has a young energy and they learn through doing things with their hands. So Pentacles is of the earth, and of the earth means of the, working with one's hands. So, which is actually what you do almost all the time.
Yeah.
You have to get involved in learning how to do something by
doing
it and growing it from the ground up. You start at the bottom and you work your way up.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
What I would then say is, if we're looking at, if you were to say to me, okay, well, this is all fine and dandy, but I've got a lot going on in my life. What do I do to kind of help release? So, which not necessarily.
Or what do I take from this?
What do I take from this?
Like, yeah, if I were to ask you genuinely,
I would say genuinely, you've got it going for you. There's not much I can do, except for saying that there are lack of elements here.
Yeah.
You have no fire and you have no air.
Okay.
So I'd say, move and do things.
I want a redhead lover with freckles.
I've
wanted that for the last couple of months, and I can't.
That's a different
Redheads are
tarot reading.
That's fire.
That's a different tarot reading.
I think when you said fire, I thought of this redhead that I want. A big, muscly redhead. Fire. Okay, what was the other one?
So, and the other one is air. For the air, and this is vital, is when you do blow up and have a hot-headed tantrum, which doesn't happen ever. Breathe. And remembering to fill one's lungs is vital when it comes to this sort of thing. If when chaos ensues for you, remember that you can balance things out. Draw from the joy of life, whatever brings you joy. You always have that mind anyway of making sure that the truth comes forward. And you've got a community of people that you can chat with. Always there to support you.
Thank you, Lizzy.
My pleasure.
As always.
Thank you for coming.
I feel like my personal view of this is, regardless of what cards get laid on the table, we can always find something to relate to any visual that's placed in front of us, because we're so multifaceted, every single one of us. And I do think, for me, being such a visual person and being inspired by seeing things, which is one of the reasons why I'm so grateful for being born into Hinduism, because it is a religion that's very visual. Whenever you lay the cards out, whenever you turn them over, seeing them for the first time, seeing a picture without words, it does something to me.
Yes.
And sometimes it makes me smile, and sometimes it brings me to tears, but it's always positive. Even the death card, which I know is just means the end of something and the beginning of something else, which in my life, some of my greatest achievements have come after my lowest lows, where I've had to really pull myself out of a difficult situation, and it turns into the most wonderful situation. So for me, doing this is it always does, it genuinely feels like a little treat, because it is the official version of me sitting alone at a bar having my dinner alone, like and thinking. This gives like a wonderful tactile element to that thinking.
Yes.
And I am so grateful that it's with you, because
you.
you're like my family, so you are my family.
Exactly, and that's how we feel too. And I'm very, me especially. He says I'm sister, I say he's brother. So there we go.
Thanks, Lizzy.
Thank you.